That's a lot of hard drives. Welcome to Tech Tuesday, where I talk about anything technological as far as what I particularly do, which is media, videos, vlogging, and so forth. I will be talking about the tech that I use in particular today. I'm not so sure if you had the same thing, but if you're a videographer and you do a lot of vlogging and you do a lot of content creation, you are bound to end up in the situation that I'm in. Lots of hard drives. And of course, we use these things as backup hard drives, and we like to use them. They're handy. You move around with them, you back up stuff, you shoot, and so forth and so forth. But as it builds up and it builds up, it eventually gets out of control. And that's where I am. And now the situation is, now I can't find anything, and I'm very bad at organize my data. I know I've got everything, but I just can't seem to find it at times. And that's because where would you find it when you've got drives that are just hanging around everywhere? I've got at least 40 terabytes of data going back as far as probably the past 5-6 years or so. I've literally kept everything that I've thought was important, and yeah, it's there. But now the thing that I really want to talk about today is how to improve your data backups and everything. And I know a lot of us are comfortable with keeping information on our external hard drives and so forth, but should, God forbid, you lose any of the hard drives, then I guess you're screwed. And which leads me to talk about this particular drive. This particular drive proved to be a nightmare for me, a huge nightmare. So I went around the country shooting a whole lot of stuff for a documentary that I was doing. Came back home and I had put everything on this drive, and it crashed. You can imagine. Client has sent you around the country basically to collect data, and you lose it. I was lucky enough, though, so to speak, that I had done an edit. I had done one edit of the proposed draft, which at the end of the day, they basically asked for minor changes to that edit. But had they not asked for minor edits and they wanted more footage that I had gone around the country collecting on this drive, I would definitely have been screwed. Which basically brings me to what I want to talk about today, which is NAS drive. Now, if you do as much work as I do and you collect a lot of data, especially with video, we've got your Full HD, 4K, 6K, 8K, and the files are getting bigger and bigger every day, and you need to back up that information. So now, if you want to move on to something more reliable, I suggest you move on to a NAS drive, which is what I'm moving on to. And basically, a NAS drive is a network attached storage. It's a stack of a hard drive, pretty much in what looks like a mini CPU, but they come in different forms. You get with 4 drives, 5 drives, 8 drives, and so forth and so forth. But the good thing about them is they use RAID. Now, you don't have to be a tech guru to understand what RAID is, because this drive will do everything for you. Now, basically what RAID does is, say you've got 5 hard drives, it uses one of those drives, when you're using RAID 5, that is, it uses one of those drives to essentially back up everything. So should any of your drives go faulty, that one drive can essentially recreate. All you need to do is just buy a new hard drive, plop it in, and it will recreate all the data that was on that initial drive that you lost. Now, I, on the other hand, would prefer RAID 6, which is what I want to move on to. RAID 6 does pretty much the same thing, but there's always a possibility that that one backup drive on there can also get faulty, and if it gets faulty, then again, you're screwed. But RAID 6, it essentially takes, if you've got, say, 5, 6, 7, 8 drives and so forth. It essentially takes 2 of those drives, which are your backup drives that will map out everything that is on the other hard drives. So ultimately what it then does is, should you lose anything on any of your drives there, you simply plop in another hard drive and it recreates. Because you've got 2 backup drives, all it simply does is, should any of those 2 backup drives go screwed, then it will recreate from the other, so your chances are minimized. And the good thing about this is that a NAS drive, basically you can access it from anywhere. So if you connect to your network at your home and you happen to travel all the way to the States, all the way to Australia, wherever you may go, and you need information that you might have forgotten back at home, all you have to do is log onto your network, access your hard drive from wherever you are, download it. It's like you've got your own version of cloud storage. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about today. So don't be like me and wait until you get screwed, lose information. In my case, I was lucky, but I know there are not so many lucky people out there, and hope this helps you. If you would like more of such videos, please click the like button. Let's talk tech, let's talk what applies to us here, because I'm based here in Zimbabwe. There are a lot of things that we see online that we might not necessarily have access to, but from my experience and everything, there is always an option. And if these are things that you'd like me to talk about, please put a comment below, suggest what you want me to talk about, and I will see you on the next one.